Alright everybody, welcome to the Lunar review. So, this is going to be similar to how I do my Narch review and Tomasa review and final review in Final Fantasy VI Beyond Chaos. I figured, why not do it for this hack? First and foremost, it needs to be said, I am not an expert on this hack. I am not even an expert on Final Fantasy IV Vanilla, really. I have just played it a lot. So I'm going to try to be objective as possible, talking about the characters, but subjectivity is going to creep its way in inevitably. So sorry for that in advance. I'm sure there's a lot of strategies and a lot of character builds that other people have thought of for the characters that I just haven't discovered yet. And so my reviews of the characters might not be exactly to your opinion, but this is basically just me going over each character and talking about what I like and dislike about them. And we'll go ahead and rate them. The ratings are probably going to be the most subjective part, but I'll do my best, okay? So, that being said, let's talk about the man himself, Cecil. So we'll talk about him as a paladin first. So the thing about Cecil is, and I don't know if this is the case or not, his physical damage feels as though it's been a little bit nerfed from vanilla. That could have been just to, balance things out a little bit. Because he's not putting out the numbers I expect with an Avenger equipped after taking off another weapon that's really strong. That could change. It might just be that they nerfed a lot of the weapons he could get early. But there's also the possibility that they nerfed his damage so that he could basically dual class like he was always supposed to. At least that seemed like the original intention in vanilla. Because now he's got a big white magic list. So probably the MVP spell on his list has been Big Guard, especially now that we learned if we sit there and spam it, it actually stacks, pretty sure. So we've basically been spamming that, but I have a suspicion, and I haven't done it yet, I have a suspicion that we could potentially equip him with a lot of stuff, like white mage stuff, to make his magic better, and he could class as a, really tanky back row white mage. I almost feel like if we equip him with the right stuff, he could be curing for as much as Rosa does, despite not having Cure 4 and Cure 3 being his biggest thing. I feel like he could get away with being a healer. And covering and stuff like that. Fortify, the new command that he got, is kind of cool. We haven't used it a ton, but it's cool just for him. It's basically a big guard that works one target, and it's him only. Outside of all that, he does have Pearl, which we haven't really used. He's got Wall, which I think we used him to do a couple of times. So he's just got some better utility than he did in vanilla, obviously. Now he's got up to Cure 3. I'm sure this will fill out with more stuff eventually. But as for right now, we're not using him as a white mage, but I'm pretty sure you could. His weapons have been really cool as far as just thematic stuff. The Lightbringer, the Ragnarok, obviously the Avenger, my favorite weapon in Final Fantasy history. He's been putting out numbers, just not as much as I would expect. But yeah, other than that, I'm gonna try not to get into other equipment so much, because obviously if you put an adamant armor on anybody, they're gonna be good. But yeah, as far as his weapons, pretty dang cool. And yeah, you have to have him. So I mean, it's Cecil, dude. He's gonna be good. He is the main character. Now I haven't found a huge use for this yet, obviously, but you can turn into a Dark Knight anytime you please. I feel like he would potentially be a way better physical damage dealer than Paladin Cecil. You're probably not going to find use for the Dark Wave at this point, although I haven't tried it yet. But I bet Bane is a big deal, especially if I have the right stuff equipped on him, like the Deathbringer and the Nightbringer, or the Nightbringer and the Eclipse, and then you Avenger him and let him just go to town without Bane, just let him swing. But we haven't gotten into a situation where I've used that yet to its fullest extent. I love the fact that you can turn back into Dark Knight Cecil, and they gave him magic in this hack. We did use Scourge a little bit. I don't know if he's going to get more stuff. I doubt it, because he's at level 76, and if he hasn't learned it yet, he's probably not going to. But, yeah, he's got Burst, Virus, he's just got some, like, dark stuff, right? And, yeah, I mean, if you had the ability to turn into Black Knight Cecil, or Dark Knight Cecil, a little earlier than, Lunar Subterrane, it might have been more fun to use him, but as for right now, unless we run into some super bosses that are weak to dark, we probably won't be using him. And we have another character that's using dark attacks that probably is a better choice anyway. But, yeah, Dark Knight Cecil and Paladin Cecil, both together as one character, I would probably have to, you kind of have to make him a 10, because he's always on your team and he's always going to be decent. Plus, he's the character that you have to use the Cursed Ring on if you want to manipulate agility, because he's always your anchor character. So that's another thing that sucks about him, because once you put the Cursed Ring on, he's just like garbage, because that's what the Cursed Ring does. But as of right now, we haven't been using the Cursed Ring, because I think we're a high enough level where speed is so high that it doesn't really matter. But yeah, you pretty much have to 10 Cecil, because you always have to have him. Okay, as long as we're right here, let's talk about Kain. Probably my least used character out of everybody, honestly. They changed him to be kind of better. He can use a lot more weapons now. Like, he can use some of the big stuff, like Ragnarok and everything. He's got the White Spear right now. They gave him, and I think I might end up having to use this on one of the bosses at some point. But he's got jump. He's got some white magic that's decent. It's got some cool, like, thematic Dragoon stuff. But I think what I'm going to end up having to use at some point is the Leap command that he has now, which lets you, like, jump, but then decide when to land. Sort of like Hide, but you come down and do damage. So he can just stay up there and never get hit by something, and then come down strategically when you need him to. Other than that, you don't get to use him much because he betrays you twice. But, we're at the end game now. He's obviously gets levels when he's not in the party up to where everyone else is. So he might be better now. Especially if we run into something weak to Holy, we can equip him with the White Spear and then Avenger him in battle. And that could be pretty good. But, yeah, Kain, just because I haven't used him much, I'd have to give him like a 6. I think he's good. I just think he's not the character that I would want to have on my team all the time. Okay, Rosa. Rosa has been awesome all game. She is, in my opinion, the best white mage in Final Fantasy history. She can do damage. She can heal your entire party really fast for a lot. She has huge HP for a white mage. Early game, what she was doing for us, really, was equipping Medusa arrows and just wrecking all, like, anything that was, like, susceptible to petrify. She was just stoning the crap out of it, to the point where it was, like, negligible getting into fights. As far as her white magic, it's your same old stuff, except she got Pearl, which is a single element, or single target, like, weaker white spell. And then she got White, and now she has Holy, which I haven't used yet, and Ultima. Ultima being a white spell is really awesome. It gives Rosa a way to do damage, like a lot of it. So, yeah, she's good, she's tanky, she's kind of fast. All the utility of being able to, like, obviously right now we want her to heal as much as possible, so I have her with the Sage Staff. But if you want to switch to arrows and give her Medusa arrows, we also have those Perseus arrows now that I haven't used yet that sound like better Artemis arrows. She's just great, all around great. I'd probably have to give Rosa a 10 as well. There's no better white mage ever. So there you have it on Rosa. There's not much more to say about her. Her Pray command is kind of garbage, always has been. We don't really use it. Aim is great. Aim gives you Blink now when you use it, which is just a way to protect your white mage so she can heal everybody, which is awesome. Okay. Alright. Rydia. My favorite character in Final Fantasy history. Very, very close second is Terra from Final Fantasy VI, obviously, but Rydia has always been my favorite character because Final Fantasy IV was the first Final Fantasy I ever beat, and I thought that calling monsters was way cool, and she's just cool as hell. Her storyline, coming back, being grown up, having more spells and stuff, just neat. It was cool as hell early game when you could buy, like, Ramuh, Shiva, Ifrit early, so you didn't have to wait for those till later, because honestly, if you get those when she comes back, you barely ever use them, because you get better summons so quickly afterwards. So yeah, she's been killing it ever since we got Bahamut. She also has this white command, which we've never really used. I wish they would have come up with something, like, cooler that she could use as a command instead of just keeping her white command from when she's a kid. But yeah, she's got white, she's got black magic, which is just your basic black magic list. Quake, Meteo, Nuke. She has Solar Flare, which not all characters with magic have, but we haven't really been using it much because of the calls. I love that Phoenix is a thing now. It costs 99 MP. It does fire. It's the Final Fantasy V Phoenix. It does fire damage to all your enemies and brings back every single person who's dead on your team at low HP. Probably the before we got Bahamut and Phoenix, probably the summon that we used the most was Witch mid-game, which was just doing gross damage. It was really, really good. And then Leviathan after that, obviously we used for a little while. After that, it was basically all Bahamut. Sylph is helpful in niche situations when you need to heal your whole party, and go through a wall with it. But Bahamut and Phoenix have been the ones we've been using the most at late game. Because Bahamut's Mega Flare does basically max damage, which I'm pretty sure the damage cap now is 14,999, because I've not seen anything break that. And then Phoenix in a pinch to bring your characters back. So, yeah. Rydia has been ridiculous. Haven't really found a use for giving her whips and stuff, and giving her the Zeus Gauntlet, because she just needs to throw magic, man. She just needs to throw magic. But, yeah, Rydia, as far as damage goes, see, that's the thing. It's really hard to not give most of these characters 10s, you know? Because they're all good in their own right. I don't think anyone is bad. So, I don't know. I think I might drop the rating system here. We're just not going to rate them, because I think everyone's a 10. Including Kain. I think they're all 10s. You just have to use them correctly. Okay, while we're down here, we may as well. Big Bro, Golbez, the man, the myth, the legend, made a playable character in this hack. Freaking awesome. I've always wanted Golbez to be a freaking playable character, and finally he is. So, he came with a Nightbringer, which is a dark sword. He's decent at physical attacks. And he's just awesome as a character. He's good at physical, and he's good at magic. He is a very well-rounded character. He's basically, because we can't use Fusoya, he's basically like a mixture of Fusoya and a brand new character that's like another Paladin Cecil, but if he'd stayed a Dark Knight, that kind of thing. He's got his Shadow Dragon summon, which is just awesome. You just get to demolish people with it. It's only one target, but it's really cool that he's got a thematic, like, character-specific summon, and it's awesome. Like, I love the love that they put into this character, making him. Then he's got a few other summons. Raiden and Witch are, like, the only two you would really want to use. You've got, like, Shiva, Titan, Ramuh, Ifrit, but, And then down here, obviously, he's got Meteo, Solar Flare, Scourge, Burst Fight. Basically all of, like, the top-level spells. We've been using Meteo quite a bit, actually, because that's, like, his big dumb attack. And Raiden has been helpful, too, being able to summon Raiden. But, yeah, man, Golbez is just awesome. He's also got the blue command in battle, which is a random enemy monster skill thrown out, which is what Fusoya had. He has no white magic, unlike Fusoya. I haven't seen any white magic come out yet, so... But he does have 2 more slots open, so you never know if there's, like, 2 more spells he's going to get that are just going to be over-the-top awesome. So yeah, dude, I love Golbez. I think he's cool. It's really cool you get to have both brothers on the team together. That's like the coolest part. But yeah, man, Golbez, freaking sweet. All right, let's empty our party. Go check out everybody else. You there. Let's go ahead and rate Sid, even though he can't join us now. We did get to use him. I'm not going to worry about rating Fusoya. You guys know how Fusoya is. But yeah, we're going to rate Sid just because the game wouldn't let us put him back on the team. His tools command was really cool. He had a bunch of utility stuff there. But once we figured out to use beam, you just use beam. Because it does percentage damage based on the enemy's HP. So every boss we ran into, he just wrecked. Because he did so much damage to it. 3000s. The Dark Elf had no chance. But yeah, Sid was freaking awesome. I'm pretty sad you can't use him. There's a lot of weapons that he can use that we got later. After you couldn't put him on your team anymore. I'm guessing that's because there's a new game plus. And you'll get to use Sid again, and he'll be able to re-equip that stuff. So, yeah. Sid was fun, man. I like knocking people with my hammer. That was fun. But, anyway. Porom. Okay, our other white mage. Really, Porom is just worse Rosa, in my opinion. As she was in Vanilla. But, if you pair her with Palom, they're really, really good. Especially now that their twin magic is upgraded to do, like, Quasar and Starfall and stuff off of, just them being on the same team. But she does have Ultima, and it helped against the movers. It helps against a lot of stuff. Just having Ultima makes you good. As far as her equipment, it's basically the same as Rosa. She can equip all the same stuff. There's not much to say about her. She is just literally worse Rosa. So, sorry, Porom. You're basically the same you were in Vanilla. But, you're cool. Palom, on the other hand. Palom is his own thing now. He was good in Vanilla. And, now, he's got Flare, which I haven't used yet. That is a new spell, also. It's not Nuke, it's Flare. So we might have to test that out and see if it does decent damage. I haven't found a reason to put Palom on the team again since the movers and stuff, but we probably will. And then he got Starfall, which is like his signature move. No one else has it. Which is like better Stardust, right? Does more damage. It's just his big dumb attack. And being a black mage, his magic is kind of ridiculous. The stuff he can equip gives him even better magic power. Typically, your typical mage, your typical black mage, just throwing out big damage. And of course, twin magic still. So, yep, Palom's cool. Not much more to say about him. Oh my god, Yang. Dude, Yang is a fucking boss in this hack. He does so much damage. His kick is useful now. His brace makes him, like, immune to physical damage. It basically gives him an elf mantle. Yang was awesome, especially when we had him in the underground and he was just kicking and taking out whole enemy groups. He's just the shit, man. There's not much to say about Yang because he can't use magic. He is just your physical guy, and that's all he has to do because he puts out like 8,000 damage. The dude is just ridiculous, and I used him a lot this hack. Which is funny, because he's one of my least favorite characters in 4, but when he's doing that kind of damage, and he's Keon with the kick, like, now that he can kick, he's one of my more favorite characters. Like, kick was awesome, but you didn't really get to use it much in Vanilla, because it wasn't that good. But that has changed. So, yeah, Yang is freaking awesome, dude. Alright, Edge. Edge has his same old problems. He has a glass cannon. He cannot be hit or he takes ridiculous damage. There is an argument to be made for giving him the merit cap, and then giving him, which lets you equip anything you want, and giving him better armor, but I don't even think that's going to help with it. Like, he's got the glass helm on right now, which is the best physical defense item in the game, in vanilla anyway, and even that, he's still taking thousands from a punch, you know, and getting one shot. And a protect ring, I mean, he's just here to swing and die. As far as his ninja skills, even though we unlocked a bunch of old ones now, I don't think that these are going to make him that much better. Again, we haven't used him since he got these, but we might. We might try. I mean, he's got haste. I'm guessing that targets just him. Oh no, it's all allies. When hasting yourself just doesn't cut it. Okay, that's going to be even better then. He might be useful to use then, because being able to haste everybody is really, really nice. But we have another character that can do that too, so who might be, well, not might be, is better. But yeah, man, I love that he has a move called F-Bomb. But yeah, he's just edge. I'm sure if I had better stuff to throw, that would be what to do with him. But I have a lot of good stuff to throw, but I don't want to throw it because it's good stuff. So yeah, that's edge for you. Not much more to say from that. Now we have to go empty our party just to look at one more character. And possibly, honestly, has the best command in the game, I would say. Alright, Edward. So Edward, I realized his potential too late. His salve ability, the ability to use any item, any healing item, any attack item, and multi-target it. So with stuff like the Elf Cloak and Elf Mantle, like physical damage and all, cast Shell and Protect, and then the Lunar Veil, also, wherever that is, I think that's in my storage. Just things that usually only target the user can now be salved and hit the whole party, which got us through the Crystals fight, it got us through a couple more fights, it helped in the Goddess fight, just amazing. Like, you can even, like, mass party life if you're down to just Edward and bring everybody back just like a Phoenix cast. And you can use a high potion with Sav and basically do an all potion. He's just so freaking versatile. You can heal the whole party if you need to from what they get hit with. Just, it's great. He's great. As far as everything else he does, not worth. Like, nothing else he does is worth. Attacking, screw it. Singing, screw it now. It was great early game. He could, like, do Burst Ballad and Halting Harmony and all that stuff was new songs he could use. But, yeah, he's basically just here to salve our really good items, and that's it. But that alone makes him amazing for fighting all these late game bosses. And he's probably a staple on the team now. I don't see me replacing him for any reason. And even though Edge can haste all of us, if we buy one Hermes item, Edward can haste the whole team too. So there is a lot of potential with this character. So yeah, that's basically all I can say about Edward. He is awesome. He does die if somebody looks at him sideways, but it's worth it to keep him on the team and hope that he can get through it. And if we have that much trouble and he's absolutely necessary for a fight, we can always put an adamant armor on him or something. But yeah, anyway. So talking about the hack, man, I'm going to make this kind of brief. The hack is just cool. Everything they added is cool. It is not T edition level of good, in my opinion, but that is a very high bar. But like 8-Bit Fan did a great job. I forget the other person who helped with this hack. They're on the title screen. I'm very sorry for forgetting your name, but you guys made an awesome hack. I can tell you love the game. I can tell love was put into it. I'm excited to see what these super bosses that Goddess just unlocked can do. But yeah, I'm super glad this hack exists. And I'm glad I got to play through it. And I'm still playing through it, obviously. But yeah, this was a great playthrough, man. And I kind of picked up on the fact that you got kind of new stuff scattered throughout the main game. But the whole point of this seems like they wanted you to blaze through the main game and just steamroll it to get to the end game content where things were going to ramp up, which they definitely have. So thank you guys for, like, making this hack. It's awesome, and I'm really glad I got to play it. And everybody who's watched me play it and come along with me on the journey, the people who have played it before, the people who have never played it and are just experiencing it for the first time along with me, you all are awesome. Thank you so much for the advice that I've gotten here and there. Thanks for not spoiling things. You guys know me, and you know I don't like to be spoiled. And yeah, it's just been awesome. The interaction about this hack, the new experiences, has been great. And this is going to be a great one to put under my belt, right there with T Edition. And yeah, man, that's basically all I have to say. We will be back, and we're going to go on some super boss hunts. All those freaking places where the buttholes told me to leave, now they gotta face me. So, because I beat Goddess, so bite me. But anyway, thanks you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Peace. Sorry, Fury.